Shares of Coinbase are up a whopping 49% over the past month, and there was a lot of really good news for the company. Not only is crypto trading back up, that's really still the company's core business, but also we have increased assets in the USD coin, and we had a really solid earnings report from Coinbase. So I have covered the earnings report previously on this channel, but I want to go to some of the momentum that has happened recently because Coinbase is really going to benefit from a lot of this. One of the things that has happened is the Bitcoin ETFs were approved, and those were a little bit tepid to start with, but Coinbase is the custodian for most of those ETFs, so that could potentially be a pretty sizable business for them and expands that relationship with a lot of the established financial institutions. But those ETFs have actually brought millions of dollars into the crypto market. And it's possible that we start to see more ETFs approved in the future. Ethereum, Solana, Near Protocol, some of the bigger cryptocurrencies in the market could be next now that Bitcoin has not only been successful, but has added a lot of assets from particularly institutional and retail buyers to the ecosystem. So I want to go through some of the trends today that have driven some of these results beyond earnings and tell a little bit why I'm really excited about Coinbase in the future and think that 2024 could be a much, much better year than 2023. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/AS, I'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. So let's get right to some of the trends that I watch on a pretty regular basis. The first thing that I've been keeping an eye on for quite a while is the exchange volume and market share. So basically, where are people trading cryptocurrencies? And also how much trading is actually going on, because those two things are going to drive revenue for a company like Coinbase. A year ago, when trading was down really significantly, you saw these volume numbers across the board down significantly. Now you're starting to see everything pick up. The company that's gone here that used to be particularly often in the number 2 position is FTX. So some of the competition has fallen by the wayside. Binance is still the top. But Coinbase used to be about a tenth of what Binance was from a volume perspective, and would hover around $1 to $1.5 billion of volume. Now doing $4.7 billion in volume over the last 24 hours. Now this is just a 24-hour snapshot, but this is pretty indicative of what's going on with Coinbase. A little bit of market share gains, and then a big increase in the volume of trading that's going on in cryptocurrencies overall. So what's driving that? Well, this is a big piece of it. Is just that prices are going up. And when prices are going up, there's typically more trading that's going on. There's more volatility. And those two things are what drive Coinbase's exchange business. I'll get to some of the numbers here, but prices are up 10% for a lot of these bigger cryptocurrencies over the past week. And if you look at Bitcoin was trading around $40,000 to end 2023. That's the results that we already have. Now we're up to $57,000. So I think it's pretty likely that we're going to see an increase in trading volume in the first quarter of 2024. And already those numbers were pretty solid. $529 million worth of transaction revenue in the fourth quarter. That was up really sharply from $322 million a year ago. And then here's the thing that I want to cover next is this stable coin revenue. This is largely related to the USDC token. Coinbase started the USDC token with Circle. As part of an agreement last year, Circle actually took over control of the USDC token, is bringing it to a bunch of other blockchains. They just announced some new things. So they're doing a lot more development on the token and access to that itself, but Coinbase is still generating revenue from how much of that token is outstanding, because there are assets backing that stablecoin. Those assets are invested in things like treasuries and bank accounts generating interest. That interest doesn't typically go to the USD token holders. It goes to the people who are running USD, so Circle and Coinbase. And that's what this revenue is, $171.6 million in the most recent quarter. But that should be going up because if we go to the market cap data for the USDC token, and this is on coinmarketcap.com, you can see that over the past month, we've increased from $26 billion in the USDC token to about $28.5 billion. Over the past year, there was a big decline. There was Binance selling some tokens. There's some other things related to questions about the USDC token. But since November we've seen a pretty sharp increase in the number of tokens outstanding, 24 billion up to, like I said, about 28 billion. So not a massive increase, but we're talking about 10 to 20% increase. That could be a pretty sharp increase in revenue for the USDC token, especially as we've had those interest rates maintain at a pretty high level. People were expecting short-term interest rates to come down pretty quickly in 2024. That's not going to happen. That's helpful for a business like USDC. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. On top of some of the numbers that we can see and verify on the blockchain and see the trends in Coinbase's fourth quarter results, there's also speculation on certain things opening up over the next few years. So one of those is going to be potentially ETFs. Like I said, Bitcoin is out, but do we see things like Ethereum, Solana, some of the other bigger tokens become ETFs in the near future that could bring more money into the ecosystem? We're seeing more and more countries start to adopt cryptocurrencies and blockchains. So Coinbase is expanding into some of those areas with the exchange, with some of their blockchain technology. I haven't even talked about the base blockchain, but that's another growth avenue that Coinbase can take. And I think there's a lot of expectation that there's going to be more clarity from a regulatory perspective in the US over the next year or two. Coinbase is part of a lawsuit. Coinbase was accused by the SEC of operating an exchange that was selling securities, and that has been challenged by Coinbase. They've basically said, hey, you haven't proven that any of these are securities, and that's still in court right now. We don't know how that's going to play out, but that decision and all kinds of other related decisions that are in court right now are going to give a little bit more clarity in the US on what you can and can't do with cryptocurrencies, with the blockchain. And so just answering those questions, I think, is going to be helpful for Coinbase, because we've moved out of a phase of extreme speculation during the pandemic. Number go up, number go down. Coinbase was a huge beneficiary of that because they were one of the biggest places to have an exchange. They had a huge business doing that. But then when trading went down in 2022, the business really suffered. And we're at a phase now where for this business to mature, we need to get to more utility. We need to start using cryptocurrencies for financial transactions, for smart contracts, within apps. Basically, we need to mainstream this technology. And that's really the bullish case for Coinbase. But you have to have regulatory clarity to be able to do that. And so I think over the next year or two, that's something that we're probably going to get to. That's where you're going to start to see growth on things like the base blockchain, or with wallets as a service, or all these other infrastructure pieces that Coinbase has built. So the core is really strong. Exchanges looks like it's going to be really strong into 2024 for the foreseeable future anyways. USDC token is strong. And then you have some potential tailwinds that investors are speculating on. So that's why I still think Coinbase is a really solid company. It's up big in 2024. It was up big from the middle of 2023 as well. But if you think this is a disruptive company like I do, there could be a lot of growth ahead. That's what's going on with Coinbase recently. What do you think about this stock? Is it one you own? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.